And we're live.
Hey. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for your patience.
Thank you.
So how's everybody doing today? How's it? How's the world? Everybody can hear us, okay?
Yeah, can y'all hear us?
It's always the pause between it and
Yeah.
us. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say yes.
I'm trying to make it so y'all don't see my horrible clothing rack back there.
Listen.
And me pretending that I, have my life together back there.
No, this is why I'm in the corner, because I don't have my life together.
There's like no corner. My grandmother always laughs that there's like no corner of my room where there's not something either on the wall or somewhere. There's like no wall space in my room. It's really, it looks like a teenager lives here.
That's so funny.
But hi guys, welcome to Black Prose Club 2023.
Woo, woo, woo.
We're apparently still here.
We're still here.
We're still here.
And we're still going strong. And you can see our faces. And you never see our faces.
I know.
Never.
And apparently we plan that y'all are going to see our faces a lot more.
This is like the first one I've done in a long time where you can see my face.
Yes. It's been a minute. It's been a hot little minute. But let me go ahead and we're going to attempt to do a format today, guys. So critique us later on in the comments if you like it or if you don't. But we're just going to get started. Hi, guys. Welcome to Black Prose Club, where Black lives, Black books, and Black stories will always matter. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Brittany, a.k.a. Melanin Eclectic.
I'm Oshalay of Oshi Reads and Oshi Writes.
And I'm Troy Nicole of Ink Flare Studio.
How's everyone doing?
Look, I am barely holding on. I've decided that my breakdown is going to be on Sunday at 5 because...
Wait.
Schedule breakdowns. I feel that.
Schedule breakdown. Okay.
Because I figure at that point, okay, so for those that don't know, my apartment flooded on Christmas Day. And it was real bad. Real bad. My apartment was not livable. And then I didn't have anywhere else to go. My apartment complex is trying to play me and not really like giving me a place to go. So it has been an ongoing ordeal for the last 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks yesterday. So that's why I'm just like, my breakdown is scheduled for Sunday at 5, because I figure by Sunday at 5, hopefully, they finally patched up the roof. They finally painted. There's dust everywhere. My books are covered in dust. My furniture is covered in dust. A lot of my furniture got ruined. Thankfully, my books did not get ruined, because that was the first thing I said. I was like grabbing them like...
I was about to ask you. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, what was your first priority when you realized that this was happening?
Once the water started gushing down from the ceiling, because it was a burst pipe, I started grabbing my bookshelves and like physically, I like just got the strength of like Paul Bunyan and was like lifting them. Like, I was like straight up like, what's that superhero that's green? What's his name?
The Hulk.
The Hulk. I was like the Hulk. I was literally lifting my bookshelves and like moving them and running. So everything's in my room. I don't even want to go into everything I've been through. So I just figured by Sunday, everything should be back to normal and I should have some level of normalcy back. And so at least by 5 p.m., I will have time to have breakdown.
You know what? I'm gonna make sure that you have this 5 p.m. breakdown, because you've been holding it in for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I'm shocked that you haven't like shot somebody.
I've been trying to keep my composure, because I'm just like, if I break down now, I'm not gonna make it. So I'm just like, I'm gonna wait until everything's fixed, and then I'm gonna have a good cry. Like, I'm probably gonna go in my car, drive to a deserted like parking lot, and just being like, you know how you just go crazy in your car, you start screaming and like hitting shit. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you need to go to one of those places where they break shit, like where you pay money and you can just break shit. You need to go to one of those.
Yes, I do. I really do. And then I'm on a social media break this year for an entire year. So I don't have, by that I mean I don't have any social media apps on my phone, But I do plan on logging on to the desktops of Instagram, and I don't know if TikTok has a desktop. Does it?
Oh yeah, I know. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but at least Instagram to check my DMs and just kind of keep up with what's going on in the world. I'm going to do that for 1 hour a week, but I'm doing a social media detox year. So,
wow. I hope that works out for you.
Same.
I've already noticed that I just have way more free time.
Man.
So.
WOC reader. Vina says TikTok does have a desktop.
Okay, good. So yeah. Okay.
Can you pre-schedule on the desktop? Because listen, every social media app should come with the option of pre-scheduling content.
I agree.
They don't want to do that because they want you to spend as much time scrolling as possible so that you can see as many ads as possible so you can buy as much shit as possible.
I mean, logically that makes sense, but I get on social media just to post and then I get off.
I know. They don't want you to do that, Brittany.
It's like I don't have the time for all that.
You're going against their agenda.
I know, and they hate me for it. They suck.
I wish I was that person. If I get on any social media, I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's ridiculous. First of all, let me say this because it's very loud to me, but maybe it's not. Y'all can't hear it. If at any point in this live you hear cannons in the neighborhood I live in, there is a football stadium for college, which is not, you can't dox me with that. It's very common knowledge about Houston. So if you hear cannons, that's what it is. I'm sorry, I can't really do anything about it. Like, you can live anywhere in 3rd Ward and you will hear cannons. It is very ridiculous. My dog's actually under me shaking like a crazy person. She does not like loud noise. So if you hear that, sorry first and foremost. I've been okay.
Your hair looks really good.
Yep, love the color on your skin tone.
Thank you. Every time I look at it, I don't know. Whenever I see my hair, I feel like something tells me to dye it black. And I don't want to do that.
You bleach it. Then you dye it black. Then it lasts for a week. Then you bleach it, and then it's a different color.
You know what's so funny? What's so funny is before Pig. Okay. Pig is my sister. I'm sorry, y'all. Christine, let me call her name. Before Christina and my niece went back to their home state, I had dyed my hair this color. And it was back when I had the blonde all right here and then this, right?
Yeah.
And so I went outside of the car to go meet my dad to get gumbo from him. And my sister was like, my sister's the baby, mind you. She goes, aren't you going to say anything about Troy's hair? And my dad goes, she dyes her hair like every 2 days. I was like, yeah.
I mean,
your dad was like, I don't even notice it at this point.
We don't even freak out anymore when you change your hair color. You realize that? Like, it's literally like, oh yeah, that color is good on your skin tone.
I think the last time y'all freaked out was like 2020, the summer of 2020, we were in lockdown and I came with fire engine red hair. Yes. And you guys were like, we know this is not what you were going for. And it wasn't.
To be fair, you weren't happy with it either.
I wasn't paying attention. And I got it was called like sunset orange or something, but it was fire engine red and it was way too much. I looked like I should bust through doors and yell, oh yeah. Like, it's really horrible.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
But yeah, Venus said Troy has strong hair because my hair would be strong.
Listen, we say that all the time. I was like, your hair is on some invincible Hulk level stuff.
It is.
My hair would be done after the first try.
Oh, I would be bald.
And you know what's so funny is what's really funny is, you guys, like a year ago, I think it was Oshalay asked me what my favorite deep conditioner was because my hair was so strong. Okay. She was like, what do you use? Look, and I was like, I don't deep condition my hair.
You don't understand
my gosh.
The level of panic that this sent me into on the other end. I was like,
it turned into a whole thread of voicemails. Like, you cannot be serious. Are you telling me you don't deep condition?
I don't.
How do you do this and you're not bald?
I was shook.
Okay, but here's my thing. let me say this though. I think what happens is that everyone thinks I dye my hair a lot, but typically I stay one color for 6 months and then another 6 months I'll be something else. And what happens is especially when I took a step back from BPC, I was jumping in every so often. So it's like you watch one podcast that I'm in and my hair is black, and then the next podcast my hair is bleached like crazy. But like because we talk every day, you guys know that like I was black for a really long time. Black with the blonde stripe and something else. So I do take a minute to do it. And I don't know. I really don't know what it is. Like, because like to me, I know when my hair is damaged and I can tell. I think what happens is that my curl pattern doesn't change. But I can tell in other physical things that my hair isn't at its best. That's why whenever y'all listen, I'm going to cut the cap. Okay. Whenever y'all see me chop an insane amount of hair off, my hair was damaged. Like
it was gone.
Like it was just done. And I'm just the type of person who my best friend from childhood calls me Edward Scissorhands because
you're ready to chop it off.
Sometimes I'll just look in the mirror and like my sisters do this thing every year where in January they text me, January is a new year. And I'm just like, yeah. And there's like, we don't cut hair in 2023. And I'm like,
and you're like, watch me.
Like January is normally when I do it too.
That is true.
Vina said you don't deep condition. No, I don't.
Look,
you sending people in the chat into a whole tirade. They're gonna listen to this and be like, wait, what?
Honestly, if I think if it wasn't for the fact that it takes like I'm just not gonna sit there for 30 minutes. Like the last time I deep conditioned my hair was right after I did the blonde under here. And I forgot it was in my hair and I thought I did a wash and go and it was in my hair for 2 days.
This is getting worse and worse. Let's just stop.
Your hair has the strength of the ancestors, girl.
It really does. It has the grace of God in every strand. Like weaved in.
I guess. Read Love Listen said, have y'all hung out yet or made any plans to?
Oh my gosh, did we not tell you guys?
We haven't had a podcast since.
Me and Troy totally hung out when? November?
When they sent me this text, I mean, I celebrated in my soul.
Did we send you a picture? I think we sent you a picture.
I think
was like, it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Y'all, they live in the same city.
Stop. I just want to repeat. You ain't gotta say this so loud.
I just want to repeat. They live in the same.
Let's
city.
be clear. Let's be clear.
Not live in the same city.
Let's be clear. Brittany lives in a township that is far. Okay.
Ma'am, I live in the suburbias of suburbias.
And I live in the hood. Okay. So
yeah.
we say that, but we're only like 15 minutes away from each other.
We're only 15 minutes away because they changed the highway.
Yeah.
I just have no words.
But I mean, technically, in April of 2023, Black Prose Club will all be in the same city at the same time.
Yay!
So
I have never met Troy in person. This is going to be very interesting.
At this point, we're the only ones who haven't met.
Yeah.
I, however, am well traveled and have met both you hoes.
No, that's because I canceled my trip to BookNet Fest.
Yes, you did. But it's weird though, because I don't feel like I've never met you in person.
Yeah, it feels weird because we've known each other for so long.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah. It's just kind of like, all right, I see you in real life now. Hello.
I'm gonna talk to Joe now because technically I've met you both, so now I can be the one to talk cash money.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh my god, I can't believe you guys haven't met yet.
I feel like it's different because she lives in a different state on the East Coast, and we're just
There's actually a valid reason for me to have met Troy. Unlike
we did tell them because
we did because Deja
you said that y'all met up and Brittany's friend knew Troy's family, right? Yep. Small world. Not really small if you grew up in Third Ward though. So
Read Love Listen says you're in one of those master plan communities. I am in one of those master plan communities. I won't go into further detail because I've already told you what city I'm in, and I mean, I say this on the internet all the time. Roll up at my house. Anybody crazy? Not y'all.
This
but
is
somebody
Texas.
who might be secretly listening. Roll up to this house and you can meet Samson and Delilah anytime.
Literally, I know like saying the neighborhood I live in is not good, but it's on my social media, so I don't think it matters at this point.
Oh, yeah. Mine is like technically on the email, the return address of my shop, but like that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Listen, this is Texas, so you run up, you get done up. So,
right?
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to trespass on someone's property in Texas, of all states in the United States. Like that is not the state to do it at all.
Yeah. Deja, the master plan community is like there are a lot of the suburbias around Houston that are just popping up like daisies, and not like popping up like a little bit, like they're building like whole family neighborhoods in like less than a year, where you buy a plot of lands, you get in contact with the contractor and like you build your house on the land. And I'm a part of a neighborhood that is ginormous. That is fairly new. Like this my section of the neighborhood is new. My section of the neighborhood also has like 30 homes. So yeah.
It sounds like a dystopian novel. Master
You know,
plan.
I kind of think about that because that just gets real depressing. It's like, speaking of dystopian though, what are y'all reading? Because I forgot to ask that question earlier.
I'm reading a book that I'm really like about. What is my Kindle? It's called "'Tis the Season for Revenge." It's very boring, and I'm mad at the internet for having me buy it.
Okay, the title and then your response was just not what I was expecting.
Not at all.
I got really excited. 'Tis the season for revenge.
I feel like I would have to go get my Kindle because I can never remember the names of things. But I was reading this book this morning that had me crying.
Good cry or bad cry?
It was a bad cry. It was a romance about this girl and her brother died and it was real sad. And I don't really want to go into it, but I was like sobbing my eyes out because it was so freaking sad.
Oh,
but it was very like, it was like a release though, because I felt like I needed to let some type of emotion out.
You might have to read that book later on when you're not in an emotional state that you're in, and then like tell us how you feel about the book.
And I recognized too, like my period's about to start in a few days because I was literally bawling, and I was like, "Damn, like what's going on?"
Uterus always pops in at the worst times. It's like life is chaos. Uterus is like, hold my beer. I want to come too.
Yup, 100%. But I'll find the name of it and I'll put it in the chat. It's a romance. I've been reading nothing but romance because my life is in shambles, and I can't read anything where bad things are happening to people. Or I will have a mental breakdown. So
that's fair. Of course, Vina said, I actually just finished a dystopian novel yesterday, The Seed of Cain, which is the sequel to The Record Keeper.
Ooh.
And then Kara said, I'm reading A Song of Silver Flame Like Night. Oh, that's the one with the really pretty cover. It's like a blue grayish cover. I want that one. Everybody said my period always pops up at the time for an out-of-state vacation.
Oh, I hate that.
Yes.
Oh,
that is true.
Why does that happen? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing?
Because their uterus are haters. Because we're refusing to use them for their intended purposes, so they're haters.
Right.
It's messed up.
I'm reading On Us by Nina. I'm addicted. Okay.
Nice.
I'm currently listening to a murder mystery, homicide and it's from the series of Homicide and Hollow Hollow, but I think it's Blackmail and Babinka. That's the third book. I thought the whole series is so freaking cute. It also really makes me wish that I had a Filipino friend in Houston that could make me food.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm reading, what is it called? The girl who fell beneath the sea. Basically, this month I'm not allowed to go buy any books except on my birthday. I need to post a birthday book list like I do every year because listen,
you should.
Need to do that. But I'm not allowed. I'm only reading what's on my shelf. And I have a lot of books on my shelf that I bought because they were pretty, not to read them. So now I'm going to read them now and determine if I want to keep them or not.
Did y'all take advantage of that Barnes & Noble sale? Because I definitely did.
I couldn't do the in-person one because I was in another state.
They had a sale on hardcover, so I like ordered a bunch.
No, I didn't.
Thank you, Troy, for my gift card.
You're welcome. I totally forgot I sent you that.
I was like, this is my time to shine.
I really love it. I'm done with both of you on a spiritual level, but I just wanted to take this time to say that Black Prose Club is now accepting ad space for any of our podcasts. And if you are interested in having ad space read on one of our podcasts, please send an email to blackprose3@gmail.com. And now, word from our first ad of 2023. I'm handing it to Oshalay.
Thank you. Okay, so I have decided to revive my short story blog that never really took off. It's called OhSheWritesHere.com. That's where you can find it. And essentially what it is, it's half autobiographical essays and short stories, half fictional. So also you can be a part of the blog if you want me to write your story. You can send me an email anonymously with either a memory that you want turned into a story or a fictional scenario or something that happened to someone you know that you think would make an interesting short story. So essentially, a lot of my story ideas have come from my life, people I know, and things that have happened to them, friends that I know. Don't worry, I've gotten people's permission. With the exception of some of the stories that I have that I'll be posting that are inspired by crazy Reddit threads. So I do have some stories up there right now. I'm also going to be adding an audio component where I will be actually narrating a lot. So if you don't necessarily feel like you want to read, but you're fine with just like playing it and having it on kind of like a podcast, but not really, that will be added on eventually in the next few weeks. So definitely go check it out. OhSheWritesHere.com. And yeah, I'm excited. There's going to be some cool things coming in 2023.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And then the shade part. Hopefully this means a book is coming soon.
Stop it. I'm working on it.
It's like, okay, so, this is the part of the podcast where we're going to talk about a topic. But today's topic is literally just us. So I'm sure y'all are wondering, what is the theme for this year's reading? Also, if you're new, I guess I should explain this. Black Prose Club has originally and will always be a book club. We understand that life happens. So we read one book a quarter and we pick a theme. And last year's theme was Black men. And we got some really good reads out of last year. If I do say so, I think we picked really good books last year. But this year, our theme is indie authors. But not just any indie authors, because somehow this list turned into all fantasy books. And I am so excited.
I'm so excited.
I was like, this is the life that I've been meaning to have forever, because if I leave it up to y'all, we just gonna read romance all the time.
Look, romance is a happy place. Everyone. Oh, I was gonna say something dirty.
That's how we're starting. That's how we're starting our play.
Wow. Troy looks so distraught.
You know what?
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting you to take it straight, straight there. But we haven't done that in a very long time. So, that's on brand. It's like,
man.
So our first book that we are reading is my pick for January through March. We are reading We Are the Origin by C.M. Lockhart. It's a really pretty green book. Don't worry, all the visuals and stuff will be posted on our Instagram like always. I think this book is available we checked this like the ebook version,
Mhm.
physical version. So these are none of the books that we picked are coming out in 2023.
No, they're
all
already
books
out.
that are already out there, which was another thing that we felt like, let's do this. The next book on the list, I don't even have to tell you who picked this one. I feel like once I say it, you'll know. It's Made It to a Vampire Princess, Book 1 by Leisha McCoy.
The shade.
It's like, even though it's fantasy, we already know that it's gonna have some romance in it if Oshalay picks it.
Yes.
Yep.
Also, oh hey Chelsea, I didn't realize you were in the chat. Written in Melanin is here.
Yes.
We love it.
We love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that quarter 3 is the book that all three of us were like, we have to read this book. Also, the cover is divine. So this book is called Kill 3 Birds by Nicole Gibbons Kurtz.
Mm-hmm.
Also, oh my gosh, this is also indie and they're all Black women.
What? I just realized that.
That wasn't even on purpose.
We did not do that on purpose.
Great. So we're going to wrap up the year in the fantasy world, and we're going to start the Of Cinder and Bone by Kyoko M. Apparently, this is like a long series. Mm-hmm. So if I like this book, it's going to be a continuation. So those are the 4 books. Obviously, I will be posting visuals. I'll be writing it out for you guys.
And we're gonna do.
If anybody wants to run our story graph, send us an email because we be forgetting about story graph, y'all.
Also, little shout out, since we have her here in the chat with us. The author of our first pick is in the chat. Yay! Written in Melanin. Go and support CM Lockhart. She has a website written in Melanin, and I think, what was I exploring? You have like a library of Black books. Melanin Library. So we're excited to talk about your book, to read your book. Definitely go and support her and all the things that she's doing. You can join her mailing list, writteninmelanin.com, and all of her other links are on there. So just a little shout out.
Also, when I tag these authors on social media for when I post these graphics, make sure to follow them on Instagram as well, because a lot of them do a lot of their advertising on like their Instagram and stuff. So the only way you'll know about more books is if you go ahead and just lock it in.
Yes.
Oh, apparently there's a limited edition of the book available on her website right now.
What?
Okay.
You know, I love a limited edition. The majority of my library is full of pretty books with pretty editions. Like,
I'm literally on the website right now looking.
It's like, focus for 2 more seconds. So if you're also new here, you will know we've been here. Come January 13th, we will have been here for a smooth. What year are we in?
Are we in the 4th year?
Is it 4 or 5?
We never know this. Also,
we never
by
know
the way,
this.
We go through this every January. We do not know.
Did we start in 2018?
What year did Michelle Obama's book come out?
I feel like it was 2018.
You asking more questions we don't know the answer to?
Or her book came out in 2017. No, I don't remember.
Let's see. Becoming Michelle Obama.
I love that we don't know this. Guys, why don't we know this?
I'm looking it up right now.
You have to look up the live show that we did on YouTube. And
I'm going to go to Black Prose.
Whose channel was that on? Was that on your channel?
It was on my channel. It was on my channel.
We weren't called Black Prose at that point. A
seat at the table.
At the table.
Oh, shoot. That's right.
December live show.
When was that?
3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But what was the date?
It says it was on Oshalay's. It was January 13th, 2019.
2019.
Oh
wow.
2019. Okay. Well, either way, we've been here. We was here before a lot of other people were here, and we're still here after them.
So we're in year 4. This is so exciting.
I'm really proud of us. I think we're doing really good. Life has really been lifing us, and somehow we keep coming back. So I'm really just want to say I'm proud of us. Y'all are doing a really good job. Like, I'm so happy to call y'all my inappropriate sisters.
Not your inappropriate.
Sometimes our chats be real inappropriate.
That's facts.
Right.
If you've been here for a while, you know that we have 2 reoccurring readathons. We have our throwback-a-thon, which is always a nod to like just our childhood and like
nostalgia,
the best parts of being us. We'll announce the theme for that soon, but mark it in your calendars this year. We are doing it mid-April, so mark it in your calendars. Obviously, graphics will come later on. Also, Naked, which is the ode to Black love. Honestly, did not think we would still be doing Naked, but Naked is still happening. It is our romance readathon that is an ode to Black love and Black authors who write about Black love. So we mark your calendars again because that's happening in August. Yes. Again. So obviously more information is coming. And I know that you're noticing we will not be doing a Black Book Summit this year. It's just too much work, y'all.
It's a lot of work. And we've decided that we're going to take a break this year and we'll reevaluate and see if we're going to come back next year refreshed and ready to do it. Or if we might find, we've also thought about merely being like a platform and maybe using it as more of like how people used to do book, like what were they called? Not book festival, BookCons. Like maybe we would run it kind of like a BookCon where we would just be the support and we would be the platform, and then we can get other people to come on and host their own panels and things like that, and like kind of plug what they're doing. Like maybe we can get some indie authors on, maybe we can get some booktubers who are trying to blow up, some book talkers, things like that. So that is an idea we're tossing around. We don't know if we're going to go down that route yet. We just want to give ourselves a year to kind of just think, and we'll see.
Plus, like whenever we go that hard in Black History Month, we be wore out for like 2 months. And like it pushes all of our other plans like by the wayside. And it's just too much in the beginning. And you know, we're pacing ourselves better. Like as we're doing this, we're learning like what our limits are and like what we can handle. And we need a whole assistant team to do a proper book summit.
Yeah.
The people that do those things, bless you.
And yeah, they have my full respect because it's a lot of work behind the scenes.
It's not easy at all. No. It's quite crazy.
But you can rewatch our past book summits. We have 2 book summits that are up from the 2 previous years, so you can always go rewatch those panels.
Yes. They're on our channel in a playlist. I know somebody's gonna ask. Yeah, I literally have Storygraph on a sticky note in my planner to like do these things. I can't promise you that they're gonna get done. I always forget about my Storygraph. I have Storygraph on my phone and I still forget my Storygraph. But we're trying these things. But if you would like to take over Black Prose Club's Storygraph, send us a DM or something, please, because that would be wonderful.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. But with that being said, that's kind of everything we've got for you today. We just wanted to test out our little format. We wanted to share with you guys all of the things. Oh my gosh, wait, I lied. The Read Black Challenge.
Oh, that's right. The Read Black Challenge.
Our Read Blackity Blackity Black Challenge is coming back in 2023. Yes, I'm aware that there are a bunch of Black challenges and African challenges and Caribbean challenges, and I want you to also do those. But like, don't forget ours. It's 9 prompts. We think that they're pretty good prompts. I'm going to figure out how to post it on our bio link page where you'll be able to download it. I'm still trying to figure that out. I watched a video on it, so I think I can do it. So we'll see. But for now, all of those things will be posted on our Instagram starting tomorrow. Wow. Abominable said, wasn't it just 2020? Why does 2023 sound so weird out loud?
It does.
It does. We've been together for a long time, guys. But I'm also going to say, does anybody have any closing announcements? Anything else that's upcoming that you're doing that you want everybody to know in advance?
Oh, I will say this. I am here today, and for those who don't know, I'm always talking to Oshalay and Brittany about Black prose and everything. I'm just not always in podcasts and everything. I'm going to try this year to read the books with you guys. This is a tentative try, but just to let you guys know, I'm still on kind of a sabbatical where I am. Yeah, I'm in grad school, and so I'll still be here for podcast. I don't know about the readings. I'm going to try, and if I can't be for the live shows, maybe I'll be able to be in the comments. But that's where I am right now.
I mean, we love it. Oh, speaking of, so we never got to go over the comic book that we read last fourth quarter of last year because life started lifing too hard. But we're talking about that on January 15th. So if you want to come talk about the comic that I really, really want us to talk about, come join us again on January 15th for that conversation. The other announcements that I have as it pertains to Melanin Eclectic, if you missed out on the reading planner or you just want the reading tracker, the pre-order is still up on my page. It's going down at the end of this week so that I can do the very last production of this round of planners. If you missed it, it is the Zodiac signs one. We also have prints and everything else in my shop. If you want to go get it, you just gotta go jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Melanin Eclectic will be in Artist Alley at Comic Palooza this year in Houston. So if you're in the Houston area and you want to see me at my first ever comic convention as a business owner, that's the place to go. I'm currently literally trying to form my closet cosplays for those 3 days that I'm going to be there. And I'm also so nervous that it makes my stomach hurt. So
it's going to be so good.
I'm just,
and I'm sad that I can't be there.
I was about to, oh my God, me and Oshalay were the same, like,
so sad.
Because I was about to say, just so Oshalay won't ask, I'm going to try to be there for Brittany. I can't say yes or no, but I am going to try to go.
Okay. It's all that matters. Oh, another little mini announcements. We are contemplating bringing back merch.
Oh, that's right.
So for those that are OGs and have been here since our Monster Smut days,
we gotta bring Monster Smut back. I don't know what you're talking about. We need Monster Smut again.
I love how we're like, we made merch out of that, and we read like one Monster Smut book.
That's not the point. The point of that merch was for our inappropriate conversations.
Can we talk about how I told y'all about those alien books and then they blew up on TikTok? Can we talk about that?
Whoa. Since we're here for a second, can we? Because I was like, so we're not going to give credit because we were all side-eyeing the hell out of Oshalay and the weird alien books.
To the point where they have like whole new covers and everything. I was like, God damn.
The author got like a huge distribution deal. Like I was just like cackling to myself because I was just like, oh my goodness, not us like laughing about this 3 years ago and then it blew up on TikTok like last year.
And it's like, I remember looking at you and saying that I was never going to trust your judgment because of those books.
And look, there's a whole community of people that love them.
To be fair, I don't trust their judgment neither.
Listen, what I've learned from Book Talk, BookTube, Book Twitter is that most of them are undercover, always liked romance and stuff, and we're just too embarrassed to say anything. Now people are just like, I read something with an age gap. I watched this TikTok the other day, and it was like, you know how they'll be like POV, and it'll tell you what the book's about? I was really like, it was like POV. There's an age gap and he's your father's something, and he won't touch you because you're under 18. But when you turn 18, he can't wait anymore. I was like,
that's disturbing.
I'm like, this is
But I'm also the same person that loves Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, which is about a man who ends up with his teenage son's ex-girlfriend. So I can't.
I still never finished that book.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with that book.
I never finished it. No, I wish we knew way less about each other.
Oh,
way less.
I also recently read an age gap book where the girl, it's called Power. I'll have to find it somewhere, but it's called Power. The girl hooks up with her mother's fiance while her mother's out of town.
Bye.
The way I cackled through that whole
I feel like we have to go through this once a year. I am always concerned about some of your reading choices because I'd be like, girl, you be out here in this forbidden category.
This is
like,
a reminder.
First of all,
take Jackie outside. This is a reminder. Take Jackie outside.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry to everyone's ears. I am so sorry. Oh my God. It is right. You guys are right next to my echo.
I forgot all about
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I have tears in my eyes.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Oh my God.
Poor Jackie probably like, this bitch lying again. For y'all that don't know, Jackie is Troy Nicole's elderly dog. She's sweet.
A smooth 11 living her best life.
And Troy has a reminder to take her out every 2 hours, except she doesn't. So Jackie is over it.
I feel like if we had given Jackie those buttons, like that alarm went out, it would be like, bitch.
Like she didn't even move when she heard that.
Oh,
and when I first started, she would jump up every time she heard it. Now she's just like, this bitch ain't getting up.
It's all lies.
This is just manipulation.
No,
my girl Jackie.
No.
Oh my God.
No, what happens is that I'll hear it and it's like a reminder that in the vicinity, I need to take her to the bathroom.
Oh God.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Good.
It's okay. That was a good laugh. Like I felt that laugh from the depths of my soul because it was
so good.
In my head what it was, and I was like, "Yo!" I
was trying to hit it. I have had this echo for a year and a half now, and I have not learned how to do anything with it.
You know, you can just tell it to turn the volume down, right?
I couldn't even breathe when I heard it.
I was like, "You can talk to it."
Oh man.
Oh God. Gosh.
But what I was gonna say before we were catfished is that like for me, it's not that I'm just like this weird deviant person that likes to read these weird books. Well, kind of. That's like 15%.
Okay, I was like, man.
The rest of it is, as a writer, I'm just curious to see how these authors are going to make this okay. Like, I'm like, how are you going to write yourself out of this hole? Like, you're already starting with, like, basically something that's very taboo. Like, how are you going to get me to root for these people to be together? Or am I just going to be horrified the whole time? Like, how are you going to make this work?
There are just certain topics of books that I just absolutely refuse to entertain because there are people in the world that like look at those books and look at them like a Bible. Anybody who is watching a child grow up and changing their mind when the day they turn 18.
No.
Jail.
Yeah.
Under the jail.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I don't want to read it about it in a book. I don't want to read about where the poor child is literally taken advantage of. I don't want to read about none of that. I also want to take the person who wrote it and take them in for questioning.
That part.
Because I got questions. Why are you writing the mindset of this grown person wanting a child so well?
Yeah, that's not good. Like, I think that there's definitely levels. Like, it's one thing if there's like, it's just an age gap, right? It's another thing if they have watched them since they were little, if they're like their godfather or something like that. That's always a little odd. Or I don't like the teacher-student thing because that I think is just straight. I don't think you can make that okay, personally.
Yeah, you can. There's nothing you can ever tell me. That's a power dynamic. You can never tell me.
Yeah.
Certain things I'm just never gonna be okay with. Granted, I only read romance. Well, I used to only read romance for naked, but oh my gosh, that's my other announcement, guys. I got a new job.
Yay!
And
why are we acting like we ain't know that?
I know. I appreciate y'all pretending like you didn't know.
I was acting as a positive reinforcement.
Yeah. I appreciate you always. So my new schedule is that I only go into the office on Wednesdays. So, now I'd be real cute, especially since the security guard is fine.
Oh,
I was like, why would you be the one?
Brittany, what's that salary like?
Yo, the salary has put me in a place. Like, the salary and I have always been pretty comfortable. But now that I also don't have to go into work.
I was talking about the security guard.
Listen, I don't know what the security guard's thing. I'm not even looking at the security guard's paycheck. I was looking at other things of the security guard.
We talk about deviant people. Oshalay deviant.
How is that deviant?
And Brittany being deviant in real life.
All I'm saying is the Lord has placed this man in my life. And I'm going to appreciate the Lord's work. That's all I'm saying. He just also happens to be in uniform. That's not my fault, bro. Like,
that's true. That's true.
It could be worse. I told my other friends, if they talk about something, go downstairs and record him.
Wait.
Because they wanted to see what he looked like. I was like,
too far.
Think about my first
not
day at work.
recording without consent.
It's like, oh no, my stuff isn't working. Can you help me? Click, click, click. Oh man. It's just, again, when I see him in the morning, he greeted me with this gorgeous smile. And all I kept thinking was, my shoes aren't even tied right now. And this beautiful man is about to check my book bag.
My shoes aren't even tied right now.
But mind you, in my book bag, it's this.
This is a meet cute.
It's not a meet cute, but you can write one.
I might.
Guys, we need to clarify why Oshalay said that. Guys, like maybe 6 months ago or so.
Was it?
I think we were talking in the group chat and Oshalay asked like what was our ideal meet cute and Brittany had no idea what it was.
Yeah, nothing.
No, we've been trying to explain it for months.
To be fair, I don't read romance. So when you said it, I was like, is this a food? I wasn't sure. But,
I'm so excited for you. It's the beginning of a beautiful love story.
To reiterate, I am not the diversity quota of my office anymore.
Ooh, finally.
Love it.
Women. There are people of color.
Wow.
I walked in and immediately saw 3 Negroes. And I almost like, it was like, oh my God. And then they walked up to me and immediately was like, yo, what up? And I was like, oh my God. This has never happened in the workplace before for me. Like,
that's amazing. That you get instantly comfortable and feel at ease.
Yes. It was just like, wow. So this is what it's like to not be in a racist office.
Oh dear. That's so sad.
Like,
oh my God. Oof.
It's so bad. Like my previous manager micromanaged me so crazy that like I think my new boss feels so bad for me.
Oh, they're like, you've been traumatized. Come here.
Yeah, like last week on like Friday, I sent him an email and it was like an itemized list of everything that I did for the week, like including like who I talked to and all that other stuff. And he called me and he's like, I mean, this is like OCD organized, but like, what exactly am I looking at? And I was like, oh, like this is like the proof that I work. And he was like, who said you had to prove that you worked? And I was like, I've had to do it like since COVID started. And he was like, yeah, I'm not reading all that.
Tell him PTSD taught you to do that.
Yeah, listen, I was about to say.
There was another guy, this is the crazy part. It's another Black guy in the office who came from like another district.
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, you're going to have PTSD for like the next like 6 months. Ooh. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. He was like, people here, they talk to you and like they're not calling you the N-word behind your back. Like it's like a nice place to be. And I was like, this is a lot. I'm so happy for us. And I was like, I might call my mama because I'm feeling a little emotional right now. And I don't need y'all seeing me cry. And then he was like, nah, it's the PTSD talking, but I understand.
Oh, shit.
I was like, not us being like so mistreated that I'm getting an orientation from the Black people in the office. Like, no, we know where you came from. We all been through it. And I'm like,
that's so sad.
I was like, why is this? I was like, on one hand, it was like, wow, this is great. The other hand is like, so like, this is like a well-known thing that's happening. Like everybody knows it's happening, but like all the powers that be don't give a fuck.
That's sad.
Yeah. So I'm meeting with the Black Caucus. Apparently that's what the group is called. I'm meeting with the Black Caucus on Wednesday to go eat lunch. Apparently one of their wives is making food. And I was like, I have no allergies. I eat everything. Thank you so much.
I eat everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Great.
Thank God. It was about time.
Man, I had actually gotten to the point where I was giving myself 6 months to save and I was going to quit. I was going to just figure out what I needed to do.
I don't know how you did it for 10 years. I really don't.
To be fair, this is a weird thing. The first 6 years of my career, I was going for the promotions. It was like a reason to be there. Because one, I knew that I was their only diversity quota. And two, I knew that they would use that to make it look good, that they were promoting me, which means I was getting more money and like, not dealing. And then like 2017, I reached the highest go, unfortunately. And then when my boss left, and I kept asking, like, when are they going to open the position? Like, because I'm interested in the position because money. And like, they refused to open the position. I was like, I'm out. Because they wanted me to do his job, but they refused to pay me.
Oh, yeah, that's a no.
So the moment that I was like, I will contact the Department of Labor on this. Like, I'm working within my SOP. They basically started like treating me like the evil.
They put a target on your back.
Yeah. I mean, I filed like 3 EEO complaints that year as well because I was also being harassed racially and sexually. So it was like, I gotta go or burn this place down is really where I'd gotten to the point. And every other time it was literally just like, because I started Melanin Eclectic and I was like, I need the money to fund that. And then it was like, I want to buy a house and you have to keep a consistent job during the house buying process. And then when I finally got the house, COVID happened. So I was stuck again. And then after that, I was like, you know what, Lord, if this is you telling me to just quit and go balls to the wall with Melanin Eclectic and like pray that it works out, like I'll do it. But like, could you give me a clear answer? Because like that also means I won't have insurance. So yeah. Just pray that 2023 is the year that I meet my sugar daddy / husband and that he can take care of my insurance and I can work Melanin Eclectic.
Yes.
Oh, I know that's right. So that means the security guard is out.
I forgot that y'all can see me.
The way you just sipped slow.
He's a very beautiful man. I'm going to learn his name first. That's where we're going to go from
there. We go. Step 1.
We'll be friends. He'll be really nice eye candy.
We'll be clocking this in the group chat.
Well, I know. I was like, now I said it, I already know.
We'll keep y'all updated. Don't worry.
It's okay. Kara's in the chat. My friend Kara, she's the one that suggested I take a picture. So she's all for it too.
Oh my goodness. It probably wouldn't even be that difficult to take a picture. That's the funniest part.
The building that I work in, it's like the first floor is literally just the security thing and elevators. So I feel like it would just be really obvious if I like come downstairs and I'm like,
Kara said that was not me.
Who was it then? Oh, I'm sorry. It was Kara and Tasha. I'm sorry.
Abominable says we don't know what that man does in the late hours. Baby may have bank. That's true.
Listen, this is why I said I'm going to learn his name first. I'm not counting him out. He's going to start off as
definitely
don't
count
I
him
don't
out.
know what y'all think. I know y'all think I've got confidence out the wazoo, but I'm an extroverted introvert, and I do not like talking to new people.
You should challenge yourself that by the end of this week, you should have learned his name and like stroking up some type of conversation.
I feel like that's a lot of work for day 2. That's a lot.
Okay, just his name then by the end of this week.
I'm going to start off with, hello, I'm Brittany. And if I make that far, that's a lot for me. I don't think y'all understand. In real life, I am not this effervescent. I shut down, even with my close friends. They've got like a couple hours before I start shutting down. So, no, that's a lot. Asking me to introduce myself to a stranger that I find attractive? Yeah.
No. Just picture him uglier than he is.
Have you guys seen that TikTok of the girl who's like, she's like doing basic stuff and she's like, I'm so independent. And then the caption's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die alone. Then she does something else and she's like, oh no, I'm the bad bitch. And then she's like, I don't even like going out. I'm just like,
me. That's me.
Yeah.
Me.
Exactly.
It's me. We're describing me here.
That's what I think of Brittany. Because I'm similar to Brittany, but in the sense that I just don't care about dating or people in general, which is probably not a good thing. I should not be this apathetic about everything.
Actually incorrect, because dating is ghetto. So like,
yeah, dating is extremely ghetto.
Whole earth is
I gave up
ghetto.
on a Hinge because
yo, I can start
people
reading
responses
messages so y'all can get a good laugh. Because
listen, if they didn't disappear after some time, they disappear after mine's like sometimes disappear, but I haven't been on there in a minute.
Hinge has become the new Tinder.
I can see that.
So
is there a dating website that's good?
No.
Because TikTok be having you think that like people out here like really finding like sustainable relationships.
I think that like, you have better luck sliding into someone's DMs than swiping.
But that would require me, because let's be real, most of my social media is books, planners, art, something super nerdy like Dungeons and Dragons right now.
That's so funny.
And then like hair. The likelihood of him being in that mix is in the D&D realm, and a lot of those dudes still haven't figured out that Axe is not body wash. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh no. Also, I think like Facebook is pretty good too.
Like just regular Facebook?
Regular Facebook. I mean, Facebook has like a dating side now.
It does.
Which I've heard is not that bad. But I think just regular Facebook, like if you see, because you know, there'll always be like people that you may know type section where it's like friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. So if you see someone that looks attractive, like what do you really have to lose by like being like, hey?
I'm kind of with Whitney the Reader fan. It sounds like I'm better off single.
Listen, I was over it after the like 6th person asked like for Hinge, where you know you like can respond to something. And they ignore whatever they're responding to and ask me, so like, what do I call you? And I'm like, nigga, my name. What do you mean?
Also,
like, is Troy Nicole that long?
No,
it's not.
And if you want to drop Nicole, just drop it and say Troy. But I feel like people are weird about it because it's a guy name. And they don't want to be like, oh, I'm dating Troy. Like, you know,
stop living in the gender binary and step out and become.
That's what I thought it'd be easier to say Troy Nicole. So, you know, people will stop being weird.
guy names for girls have become very popular within the last decade
love theirs
or
names.
two. So I don't really understand why it is an issue.
I'm so used to my name being Troy that I don't really, I know it's masculine to most people, but like to me, it's just my name. But also then everyone in my family calls me some derivative of Nicole, or, you know, we're like a basic hood family where everyone has nicknames. So
yes,
if they're not calling me Nicole, they're calling me Nene. So,
like,
but I don't like people calling me Nene.
Unless they being stupid, then I get my full name.
You don't like it?
I hate my first name.
Brittany?
Really?
Yes. I tell my mom all the time, to have made a creature like me and to giving me such a basic name is wild.
I like Brittany. It suits you.
I
think it fits you. I can't picture you as anything else.
It's like it fits me because it is me.
Yeah.
But it's still like, it's such a basic name. It's
I understand why your mom did it.
The 1988, 89, 90 frame, like the way I was in school with Brittany S, Brittany M, Brittany B.
Well, you know what? That's the plus side for me, because like Troy is a common name, but I was rarely in school with other Troys. And even if there might have been another Troy, there wasn't a Troy Nicole. So everyone just knew that it was me that people were talking about. So that was a plus side. But a plus wasn't teachers going like through roll and be like, they'd be doing last names. They'd be like, Mr. Taylor, Mr. Taylor. First of all, Taylor is a very common last name.
Right.
Second of all, I'd be like, I'm a girl. And they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, oh, it's okay.
It's okay. They would read my name and immediately look at the first blonde chick they see. Every time I'd be like.
Mine always comes with like a too long conversation. It's like, I'm already at the end of the roll, dude. Like, why do you have to have a conversation with me? They'd be like, Troy Taylor. And I was like, here. And they'd be like, oh, why is your name Troy? And I'm just like,
why is your name your name?
Because it is. And I don't want to say, and I've made the mistake before of saying it's my dad's name. And they'd be like, oh, so they thought you were a boy? I was like, no. They didn't have a name picked out. My cousin was like, oh, name her Troy with an I, like a lot of people like to spell it. And my dad was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I now Brittany and Oshalay know this story. I don't know if I ever told this story on here, but my dad tells this lie of a story about me being born. It is. It's a freaking lie. He's so full of shit. I love him to death, but he's so shit. And he tells this story about how when I came out, I just kept staring at him. And my mom was like, yeah, that did not happen. And so like he tells people on my birthday every year. He posts on Facebook. I'm sorry. No, he posts on Facebook.
Your dad is a mess.
27 years ago, I was blessed with the most beautiful baby girl. She wouldn't stop looking at me, so I named her Troy. And I'm like, nigga, that did not happen. What are you talking about? Like,
don't get on the books of faces and lies, sir.
Ooh, that's what happened in his version of your birth.
His version sounds all beautiful.
And it's so funny because his mom and his sister are just like, yeah, that doesn't even sound real. Like,
it's the retelling. It's the retelling.
And my mom
retelling of your birth.
My mom was just like, yeah, no, your cousin Casey was like a week before you were born was like, name her Troy, because I wanted to name you Nicole after my sister. And so we were like, we'll name you Troy after your dad and Nicole after my sister. And that was literally the only reason you're named Troy Nicole. And I was like, okay. Wow. And I don't want to tell people that because he'd be so mad, but I just put it on the internet. So.
Like, in the comments,
let him keep his retelling of your birth, man.
I just let him.
People love the retelling more than the actual story.
And then because he posts, he's not posting it for me. He's posting it for his friends. So in the comments, it's like, I love you so much. You're the best dad in the world.
Aww.
And then my siblings will text me and they'd be like, oh, that nigga dude's lie.
No, siblings are good for something. Siblings are good for something.
Oh.
It'd be so funny because my grandma would be like, y'all just be killing y'all dad on Facebook. Because he just be lying about anything. And sometimes we'd be like, this is too far of a lie, bro.
We let you go and you went too far.
Like, he'll tell people that I was so bad in my adolescence. I was like, I'm too boring to have done anything in my adolescence.
See, that's too unbelievable.
That's too much.
Like,
yeah, it's not.
I'm sorry, Oshalay. If they had said that about you, based on what I know about you, yeah, definitely.
No, yes, 100%.
No, but the thing is, I was smart. Like, I was bad, but nobody ever found out about it because I found out how to get away with things.
Well, you know what? No one ever found out about me either because I had the fear of God in me.
No, like Oshalay was just bad.
Oshalay was just bad.
Like, talking about something, I figured out how to hide it. Yeah, you little heathen.
Look, when you grow up with two strict ass Nigerian ass parents that believe that you need to be at church 3 times a week and you need a purity ring at age 12, look, you're gonna find some ways.
I went to Catholic school, but it wasn't that bad.
Your purity ring on?
What?
Was you out here wilding with your purity ring on?
Yes.
You was jumping out the window with the ring on.
You take the ring off.
I kept it on until I turned 25, and then I was just like, okay, this is just bad. I need to take this off.
So what did you tell people after you jumped out the window for it?
What
With it on. You jumped out the window.
Yeah.
You had the purity ring on. You went out seeing guys. What did you tell people the ring was for?
I told them the truth.
Wait. So in college, when you was living your best life, with your purity ring on, and asked you what the ring was for, and you straight told them, "This is my purity ring." Who looked at you crazy? Because I'd have been like,
everybody. But it's a great way to get rid of men that you're not really into. It's a great way to like get creepy ass dudes to leave you alone, creepy ass professors to leave you alone.
I mean, nowadays they would see that purity ring as a challenge.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it was a great prop for the longest, but I took it off at 25 because I was just like, this has gone too far.
I never got I don't think Catholics do the purity ring thing because I only heard about it after like outside of Catholicism, but they do like press the whole abstinence thing pretty hard.
They do.
Yeah. I've never heard of the purity ring. Let me rephrase. I'm gonna sound non-American for a second. I only saw purity ring stuff on the American TV shows.
Well, you're kind of not American, so
hey.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Ow.
I just remember I got mine, and then the Jonas Brothers got theirs, and I was like, "Okay, I'm not alone."
The first people I remember with purity rings were the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah,
and y'all were doing the same thing because they was wilding out with
right. Because them, they was wilding too.
Those rings do not work. I don't know who we need to tell.
They did like a whole ceremony for y'all to just be like, so with this ring, I shall heave.
Yeah,
shall heave.
You don't understand when it was my birthday and that was my birthday present, the level of anger I felt in my soul.
That was a purity ring for your birthday?
Yep. I will never forget. It was like I was 12 turning 13, I think. Either 11 turning 12 or 12 turning 13. I can't remember because I blocked it out. And I was so enraged because I had like a list of all this stuff that I wanted. And they were like, because it was like a diamond ring. Like it was a legitimate diamond ring. It looked like an engagement ring. It probably was an engagement ring. I now realize that my mom got it from QVC and like paid it off in like 18 installments. Why? But I was just like, are you serious right now? And she was just like, you're going to wear this and you're going to save yourself for your husband. And in my mind, I was like, I want to choose. I wanted a gift card to the Limited 2. What is this?
Limited 2. I remember that. My sister went there for her birthday.
I was like, I wanted that dress from Delia's. What is this? I was pissed.
I thought like, okay, I don't know. I thought that like the purity ring thing was like a whole ceremony thing. I didn't know they just ruined your birthday with it.
It depends because they had like a ceremony for the girls at church.
Okay.
And they had all the virgins come up to the front of the church and the pastor prayed over them and anointed their forehead with oil. And then the parents who had the rings came up and put it on their daughter's fingers. Thank God my parents were smart enough to not make me do that. They were just like, yeah, you don't need to do that. But then they had like a private ceremony at home on my birthday, and I was pissed. And every single one of those girls were hoes.
I think the most asinine thing I've ever done was I was in high school, and you know, Catholics have the 7 sacraments, and one of the last sacraments you do before like marriage or holy order is confirmation. And one of the things you have to do for confirmation is you have to go to confession, right? And so I got confirmed at my home church, and the priest at the time, he's no longer there. He moved back to his home state, Louisiana. He basically watched me grow up. He knows my whole family. And I did not want to be confirmed, but I did it because my grandmother wanted me to be confirmed. So my senior year, I acted an ass. Like I did a lot of dumb shit. And for confession, they decided to not put us in the confessional. Like where you're, you know.
Yeah, the private booth.
We went to his office and we were in front of him. So I remember we were in line waiting for confession, and one of the girls who was like my aunt's friend's daughter was like, we're in front of him. I was just like, what are you talking about? And she was just like, we're in front of him. And I was just like, okay. I had no idea what to confess to him. Like
I was about to ask you, what you confess?
I was like, I'm so boring. What do I confess? And so I got in there, and there's this man that basically baptized me, who's watched me my whole life. I was just like, I don't know what to do. So when I am nervous, I word vomit.
Oh no, Troy.
And you know what? Thanks be to God that shit stays with him.
Oh my God.
Damn. Troy was like, and I did this, and I did this. Oh
no. And so I was trying to think of like something small I could say, like, oh, you know, I skipped school, which I did all the time. I did. I was a habitual skipper. In freshman year of high school, my absences were like 30, 25, 22, 34, 36. But I somehow got a C average without going to class, so they couldn't fail me. Oh, Vina, I wasn't in Catholic school by that point, and they had changed it to you had to make it your junior year of high school, but I was behind a grade, so I did senior year. But normally now you do it junior year. They didn't call your parents to ask where you were. No,
when you skip.
Yeah, I know, but I was I don't think so, because we moved to Maryland, and it was just my mom, and she worked a lot because we lived on my grandma's couch, and so she was trying to work so much that it might have been my grandmother's phone, because we used her address, and if it was my grandmother's phone, then they probably did call. She just never got it. The way it was in Rockville was that because we had off-campus lunch. It wasn't like Texas. Like in Houston, they see you in your uniform walking, they be ready to pick your ass up. But we had free dress. We had off campus. They didn't say anything. But anyway, so I told the priest, about my drug escapades, about skipping school, about trespassing in an Audi garage, about
Troy.
It's with Jesus. He can't say anything, at least not to my parents.
Damn.
So he was just looking at me. He's God bless Father Obispan. He was just looking at me like, but you know what? Him knowing who my dad was, maybe he didn't really like be that shocked. But he was just
he was like, okay.
And he was just like, I want you to say for our fathers. And I was just like, he was like, I want you to, can you please recite the act of contrition? I was like, my God, I'm sorry for my sins on my heart. And she was like,
oh no.
I was just like, and then I proceeded to leave.
Said you were a felon baby. You were a baby felon.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Like Vina said, I was a baby felon, and it was barely anything because I'm really boring. It was just minor stuff, but he was just like, yeah, just do for our Father, the Father, whatever it was, and then hopped out. But I was him everything.
I didn't have time to do anything because I played sports all year round. So
oh no, baby, I was lazy.
Oh yeah, no. I played sports all year round. The only breaks that I had was the actual Christmas break week, and then I was practice. I played sports all year round.
You know what?
And
Maybe I
then
was a little bit like Oshalay because my dad like forced me to do tennis, and technically I made the tennis team's tryouts and callbacks, and I proceeded to not want to do it because I'm lazy as shit. And so when I got in the car after the day of tryouts, my dad was like super excited, and he was like, "So?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't make it." I was just like, "Oh well." And it's so funny because a few years ago he told me, he was just like, I still can't believe you didn't make the Lanier tennis team. I was like, oh no, I made callbacks. And then Coach Hoffman, like, I was an attendance office worker and I had to go get his attendance in 8th grade, and he was like, I didn't think he remembered me. He was like this. You didn't come to callbacks, Miss Taylor. And I was like, and after that he would just like see me in the hallway and be like, hi, Miss Taylor, and I'd be like, hi.
Leave me alone.
oh my god, I played every sport.
That's
because
awesome.
to play the spring game, play the spring teams, you had to condition in the winter. So yeah.
I was not a sporty
I
person.
didn't have time for all that. Also, just very weird that you pulled out and
I thought I had my pen in my hand.
I was like, do you know what you're holding up?
Oh my god.
It's like, okay, so there's a lot of trauma behind purity rings and whatever
Say no to religion.
To this day, that's like one of the topics I will never be able to talk to my parents about because they will just never understand.
I told my grandma that I confessed all that stuff.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. She laughed for like 20 minutes.
Right? It is hilarious.
That's wild. I mean, hilarious, but like, and then people in the comments talking about they purity rings and they debutante balls, and I ain't never heard of none of this.
I just don't think that kind of stuff works. Like trying to coerce highly.
Also, it seems to be very heavily focused on the women.
It is.
It is. They don't do anything to the boys. There's nothing. I mean, I guess the Jonas Brothers had to wear purity rings, but like traditionally,
they were doing with the purity rings on. So
traditionally, like I remember at the church, like it was all the girls that they called up, and I went to a non-denominational church.
Her phone was like, no more. I mean, that phone slumped.
The good Lord said to stop wrecking his name.
I know. You don't stop all this now.
He said, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Enough on my name. No, but seriously. I went to a non-denominational church where our pastor was Ghanaian and his wife was Mexican. And so it was just, yeah, it was very interesting. Interesting stuff.
Listen, I went to Catholic school from pre-K because I went to Montessori in pre-K all the way through maybe 3rd grade. And I was too young to get too much of the purity stuff. But when I went to CCD or CCE, whichever one you call it, heavy on that. Heavy on the body's a temple.
Mm-hmm.
See, I got that like at teen church. We got that a lot. But it wasn't none of this like vow to me you'll stay pure mess.
Yeah, I think it's because the purity culture thing was really big back then around a specific time in American culture, and it just like invaded all the churches, and it was intense. And it was all based off of this one dude who wrote a book about how he didn't like do anything with his wife until they met at the altar and they shared their first kiss, and he wrote a whole book about it.
I know the book you're talking about.
So that's what started.
It's really popular.
That's what started the purity culture thing. But the irony is he has now come out in recent years, I think in 2020, and he apologized for the book and how much harm it caused. He debunked it, and then he said that him and his wife ended up getting a divorce.
Isn't his name like Josh or John or something?
It's Josh something. Yeah.
So this is the book that the Duggars built their whole life on?
Basically. And the guy literally has come out in recent years and being like, I'm ashamed. Like, that had such a negative effect on culture. Like, that was not right. Like, that just, yes. And he was like, me and my wife aren't even together. We ended up getting a divorce, and that was so painful. He was like, I don't believe anything that I wrote in that book. I was like, damn, okay.
You know what's so interesting is I watched Good Mythical Morning, and listening to Rhett and Link's deconstruction of their religious backgrounds, because they were like hardcore into religion, like they were missionaries and everything. Listening to them talk about how they went from that to being like atheists now, it's really interesting, or like kind of agnostic. But it's really interesting to see, especially white people deconstruct themselves, because they be doing a lot of shit before they deconstruct.
It's in the name of Jesus that they claim all the bigotry.
Yeah. It's always, I'm really big into like listening to deconstruction, like watching deconstruction videos on YouTube and listening to podcasts and stuff too, because I feel like even though I still have faith and I still am a believer of Jesus Christ, there is a level of deconstruction that I had to do from just bullshit that's shoved down your throat that has nothing to do with the actual religion of following Christ, and it's basically just like man-made bullshit that's used to control you. It's like you have to deconstruct from those things and being like, just no.
Right.
Listen, with one thing about I'd say about being Catholic in a specific sense is, someone put on Twitter once, and I thought it was so funny and kind of true, is that this guy was like, everyone who says, and quote, when someone asks what their religion is and they say, I was born and raised Catholic, they are no longer Catholic. Right. And I thought that was so funny, because when people ask me what I am, technically I'm a confirmed Catholic, and being a confirmed Catholic means that you are telling the church and you're telling God that you are staying in the Catholic religion. I always tell people, I was raised Catholic, because I don't go to church anymore, unless it's like Christmas or something and my brother wants me to go. But I'm really not like Catholic. Like my one of my ex-friends used to say that I was super Catholic, because it's like ingrained in you somehow. Like if I pass a Catholic church and I know it's Catholic, immediately I'm like, and it's like just in the back of my brain to do it. But and I still do it, not gonna lie, even though I'm not super Catholic anymore. But with Catholicism, they like really like push hard staying within the Catholic Church and like praying for your brothers and sisters who are not in the church with you. And it's just like, I was like, damn, they gotta go to hell or something because they're not in the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of intense.
Yeah, stuff like that always makes me uncomfortable. Like, you know, with like Jehovah's Witnesses and how they only feel like 300 people are going to heaven or something. And I just wanted to be like, every time they came to my door, and I just want to be like, and you're one of them? How? Like, cause
bro, I asked one of them that once. I was like, do you know the actual number of Jehovah's Witnesses that are in the world? And he was like, well, why do I know that? I'm like, well, if it's only 300 of you, I would be taking them out.
I literally wanted to be like, 4 of y'all have come to my door within the last couple weeks, and all 4 of y'all said that you were going. So somebody lying. Like,
somebody lying.
So yeah, stuff like that always makes me uncomfortable. And like, what is it? Scientology. That's very like, if you're not in Scientology, then you have to like stop talking to family members. And isn't that why Tom Cruise doesn't even see his own child? Like, because
Tom Cruise is a typical super rich white man, so nothing he does surprises me.
But I'm just saying, like, just weird shit. Like, who disowns their own flesh and blood because they're not in Scientology? Like, that's to me is insane.
I didn't even realize that people were taking Scientology to be an actual religion and not a cult until very recently, when they started doing all those expose documentaries on it. And I was like, so this wasn't a cult? Like, y'all was really treating this like a religion?
They still treat it like a religion.
Well, y'all want to know something really sad?
So sadder than what we've already discussed.
Well, you know how like John Travolta and his family are Scientologists, and Kirstie Alley is a Scientologist.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Kirstie Alley died, and then John Travolta's wife died, and they both died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Scientologists don't believe in like medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I'm one of those people that is a firm believer that your religious practices, your spiritual practices should be 100% personal. And that if you're doing a whole lot based on the outside influence of anyone, even like a pastor or a priest or whatever, then it's no longer like your practice. Like you're just doing what other people are telling you to do. So I feel like the reason that so many Black people all have these same horror stories and why so many of us have left the churches, why so many of us have left religion and spirituality altogether is because the generations before us did not quite understand that concept.
Right.
Whereas like now, like I don't go to church on Sundays. I have tried so many churches here in Houston trying to find one that fit, and none of them fit. Like at all. I might watch a church service online on a Tuesday. I read my Bible myself. I have my own practice. I even spent a couple years where I was not even claiming Christianity. I was actually looking into other types of spirituality and trying to figure out like where I fit in. And like I didn't come back to Christianity until I was like 26, 27 years old. But then by then I realized that like it wasn't even the same Christianity that I grew up with. It was my Christianity. And so when I hear all these stories, I just be like, first of all, we all had the same stories. Being Black is truly magical because like we did not live in the same neighborhood and we all share the same stories and the same hazings, because a lot of this sounds like a hazing moment.
I agree. I feel like with the Black church, especially, even if you like went to a non-denominational church, I feel like non-denominational is just code word for like not as ritualistic, but we're still mostly all people of color here.
I mean, I've been non-denominational most of my life. So yeah, it went from Baptist to non-denominational.
And I feel like
is good for Black.
If you're the type of person that takes comfort in rituals, which is why like I remember in college I had a really good friend who was Catholic, and I was actually writing a play about a Catholic priest who became an assassin, but that's neither here or there. So I had to study.
I'm sorry, that took me off guard.
I'm sorry. I say all that to say I like studied Catholicism for a while so I could write that play, and like I went with her to mass and like I went to the services. I even went to confession once, which was a very interesting experience. But I say all that to say that like I find that people who are devout Catholics take a lot of comfort in the ritualisticness of it all. The chanting things, the having the rosary, the praying with the rosary, the kneeling down, the little book that they have, like all the things that they do, it brings them so much comfort. And it's not so much about like feeling anything really, because you know how like the Black church is big on feeling things, like feeling the spirit, falling out in the spirit, this. With Catholicism, I find it more like the ritual of things, and like this is the way things are, and this is, we're going to kneel now, we're going to stand, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and like they find a lot of beauty and comfort and safety in that ritualistic type of practice. So I feel like if you're somebody that doesn't care about rituals and you're looking to actually feel something, then Catholicism can become very
comforting.
Like, well, you can just get jaded because you're just like, I just don't want to sit here and chant and like kneel and stand and do this and pray to Mother Mary and do this, and I don't want to do all this. So I find that the same thing translates over to the Black church, because I found that the Black church is very ritualistic, just in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, somebody's going to fall out. You know, the service is going to be 3 hours long. You know, somebody's going to start running around this fucking
when you
sanctuary.
Hear that is about to start the song.
Yes. Like, you know that like the pastor is going to go up there and it's like, okay, are we doing like a sermon about how you want us to give more money to the church? Or are we doing like, there's one of 4 sermons. Is this going to be like self-improvement sermon? Is this going to be like repent, you're going to hell? Is this going to be like you need to tithe more so that God can bless you? Like, what avenue are we going down today? So it be like you start to recognize the rituals in that. And for me, it just felt extremely dehumanizing and just very cold and calculated. And I was like, I don't want to come here and spend 4 hours of my Sunday like watching someone run around the sanctuary, looking at people fall down, listening to you telling me that I need to give more money when you have like a private jet and you live in a freaking mansion. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going home.
Just little Creflo dollars, Jesus.
Thank you, Peter, for making Catholic churches 45 minutes.
Well, as the daughter of pastors, my parents' church, they real adamant about that hour thing. Because
that's good.
Who like as my dad?
What do we do for 4 hours?
As my girl, Baptist churches, 4 hours is actually so. Like when I was younger, we went to a Baptist church. We had Black Baptist churches in Japan because you bring Black people to any country, enough of us, we're gonna build our own community.
So true.
But I went to a place called Olive Grove Baptist Church. We had morning service, Sunday school, middle service, some type of like rehearsal, and then the late night service. Like we would go to church at like 7 o'clock in the morning and we would not get home till like 5 or 6 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And then as we got older, like we started going to other churches, and like I love the Black churches where I go in and I know it's a Black church and I see a timer. Like if this is the podium, like when they look out that way, there's like a timer on the wall. I was crazy. Oh, all right. So we gonna be in and out. Okay. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. It's bad, but
I mean, the fact that if there's more than one service, people go to the morning service simply because they know it has to be over before the second service.
Yes.
That's wild.
My mom grew up AME, and we went to an AME church with her and her boyfriend at the time. And after the second hour, my brother just turned to me and he was just like, I'd rather be bored at a Catholic church. I was like, yeah, bro, because that 45 minutes is nice. But you know what's so crazy is I'm always weary to tell people that I'm Catholic. Because first of all, first thing people get shocked about is that I'm Black and Catholic. A lot of people,
they don't even know you're Black.
No, it's because they realize that I'm Black because they know me personally, and they are shocked that there are a
Black
big
Catholics.
Community of Black Catholics, and there are.
Their history more, because Catholicism, slavery and Catholicism were like buddies, the same way all the other denominations were.
And so because my mom wasn't super religious when she met my dad, and my dad's obviously descended from Louisiana Creoles, you know, my family's Catholic. And so what's interesting is, even though I'm very weary of telling people I'm Catholic because there's so much shit you can get from people for being Catholic, my grandmother used to say when we were kids that she wanted her kids and us to go to Catholic school so we could always find our way back to the church, which was her way of saying, like, when in doubt, we know our way back. Like, right? And I never understood what she meant. When I got to college and I was having I was away from home for the first time, and I was just so in my feelings. I was like, my grandmother texted me and she was asking me how I was, and I was like, it's okay, whatever, right? We have a very small church in Huntsville, and so it was right behind my dorm at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna go to church, and I was like, maybe that'll make me feel better. Probably not, but I'll make me feel better. I went, sat in that pew, and cried. I was crying and crying and crying and crying, and I was just like, what the hell is wrong with me?
I did the same thing in college.
Yeah, and it was just like. And now I'm 27, and even though I don't, like Vina said, I am an Easter and Christmas Catholic. Even though I am that, there are times where in my life I get really down, and church almost feels homely to me because I have so many familial memories and practices that because my grandmother's family is Creole and my grandfather's family is Creole, of Creole descent. They're not direct Creoles, but of Creole descent. it makes me feel like at home. Like I will go to the Catholic Church and I will be like, it's like a weight lifts off me from
Yeah.
the church. And it's so hard to tell people that because people like to criticize the Catholic Church, and guaranteed needs to be criticized to this day. Like there is still open investigations about hundreds of priests in America who are raping young boys.
Yes.
But it's, I think a lot of times for me is that go ahead and criticize it, but not criticizing your own religion as if there aren't pastors in Christian churches that do the exact same thing, be having sex with people's daughters, sons, someone else's wife, and all this stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's always real easy to go to Catholicism because we have a long history of doing
I mean, to be fair, the only reason that it seems like yours is longer is because yours was recognized first.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. This is why when I hear people, because I have friends that hate the church. They hate Christianity as a whole. They can't understand why I still identify as Christian. It's the white man's religion, all of those things. And I allow them to have their thoughts, but like you said, like there is I realized that Christianity was for me in college.
Yeah.
When I had those moments where I just felt so alone and I just could not get my shit together. Like it was like I walked into one church and the freaking I'll never forget this because on them I think we went to a black AME church, but the mothers of them churches, the ones with the big old hats, one of them, she was in like this freaking plum suit with a matching hat and heels, and she greeted me and was literally like, "Hey baby, how are you doing?" and like went to hug me, ugly tears.
Aww.
And it was just like, and she was like, "Are you homesick?" I was like, she fed me that day, by the way. Like we went to her house and she fed me. So it's like my experience is different from your experience. Granted, in a weird way, no matter what part of the world we live in, if you are Catholic, this is the Black experience for Catholics, and then this is the Black experience for Christianity. It seems to be a revolving door of like, wow, I will never get over how being Black is so similar and so different at the same time.
So similar.
But like my personal preference is like, no, like me and God, we cool. Like all day. Like this is me and God.
Exactly.
It's so funny when I was before I started crying because the church fills up very fast because again it's this small prison town with just the prison, and it's the prison.
Yes, it is.
And
She's
the
not
school.
playing.
There's nothing else in Huntsville, so it's a small Catholic church and it's very tiny, and it's really in what used to look like a house. And so I was in the very back because when you walk into a lot of Catholic churches, it's you open up to this area before you get to the church, and typically a door to get into the church as well. And so I was in the back and it was really filled. And when I got in, I sat at the very, very back. So it was the last pew and then a section of seats that typically the ushers sit in before church starts. And I was sitting back there and I could just feel the tears coming. And I went to a PWI. So the congregation was insanely white. Okay.
Yeah.
And this old white lady, bless her soul, she was in the pew in front of me, and she was looking back at the ushers who were bringing the first collection plate. And at this point, there couldn't be one or two collection plates in Catholic churches. Typically, the second collection plate would be like geared towards something. They were at the first one, which is for the church. And she like kind of looks at me, and she kind of holds out her hand to me, and I was like, "Please don't make it worse."
Are you okay?
You're like, I'm just trying to make it through.
But she knew I was in my, Sam gear. I had this Sam sweatshirt on and everything. So she knew I was a college student, and she told me to come sit because it was like really filled. She told me to come sit at the pew with her, and I sat with her, and I think it was her husband. And we didn't talk or anything. She was just sitting there, and like I was just like, "Ma'am, I miss my grandma. Please don't do that." So it's always. Interestingly enough, even though Catholics tend to be very, very conservative when you go to church, even if you go to because I grew up in a Black Catholic church in Third Ward, so up until I got to be maybe in middle school, I always went to Black Catholic churches, but Catholics can be really kind within the church. You know, it's just when them assholes get out of there and they start voting Republican to be the problem.
Yeah. Sorry. But facts.
It is what it is.
Like, church conversations are always one of those things where it's like, I respect the experiences and the response to the experiences that we all have, especially the bigotry in church and the sexism in church and the misogyny in church and just the culture of church. Like Read Love Listen said, I don't hate church, but I hate the culture. And from working in a majority white church, I definitely learned a lot of tea that has made me side eye a lot of the famous local Christians and pastors. Listen, we live in Houston. Mr. Osteen.
Let's not even go there.
Listen, this is what I'm talking about. Like, your religion should be personal. Like, what everybody else is doing ain't got nothing to do with you. So that's really how I have to operate, because I'm not going to sit here and defend my choice for my religion to anybody, because, like,
it's a personal choice.
It's personal.
And I think that people who have church hurt, which means that they were hurt in church, something happened to them, they were disillusioned. Like, for example, for me, for the longest time, my church was Hillsong, New York, which I was part of the founding of that church. I was there when it was like such a pure, good, amazing, like transformative thing. And then, of course, as we now saw what happened with the pastor, Carl Lentz, with the cheating scandal and all of that, like, that I'm sure broke a lot of people's hearts. And I'm sure that caused a lot of people to potentially like leave the faith. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like that place where I think that's why your faith has to be personal, because people are flawed and people make mistakes. And I literally know men who became pastors because they knew that the church is not taxed by the government. They could use it to launder money from other avenues and businesses. Wow. And they knew that, like, people are always looking for a leader. Most people are like sheep, and not in a bad way, not in a derogatory way, but people are lost out here and they're looking for hope and they're looking for a leader. They're looking for somebody to like stand up and be like, I know the answers. And so I literally have known people who went into the church for those reasons, to take advantage of people, because they knew they could get a following. They were charismatic. They're good looking. They're good speakers. They knew they could get a following, and they knew that they could make money and it wouldn't be taxed.
That's disgusting.
Yep. Same thing with priests. That's all that is.
I mean, but yeah, like all of the above. This is why I respect everybody's choices, whether they choose to be religious, spiritual, atheist, agnostic, F the church, because that has nothing to do with me. Basically, what BPC is telling y'all is mind y'all own business. Mm-hmm. Mind your own business. That's it.
I don't know how we got on this topic.
I don't know either.
I think it was Oshalay's escapades.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Listen,
it's good because we really didn't have like a topic to talk about after announcements.
We didn't. I mean, true. I thought we were going to end it after we did the whole format thing.
We should have known better.
We should have known. Y'all, we just had a BPC meeting where we talked about timing ourselves.
You didn't have to call us out to the whole world.
We got to call ourselves out so we can do better.
I feel very attacked.
I think we're just gonna have to start splicing these and putting like the second half over the hour mark on Patreon or something.
I don't know. This is too funny.
Maybe I'll tell my Lexa. I have to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. I have to spell it out. I can't say it. I'm gonna start telling her to remind me to stop at 1 hour mark, and then y'all just hear really loud. It's time to stop BPC. It's time to stop BPC.
You know what? Please do it so we can laugh and continue talking after we laugh.
Yes, that's basically what
that would involve me remembering podcasts.
There's a lot of change happening this year.
Without you guys texting me, podcast
I send that message out every podcast day. I'm like, podcast day.
And you know what? When Oshalay texted that, what were you doing? Like, out the shower and walking the dog or something? I was like, oh shit.
It's okay. We're at the end of the day, it might be a new year, but it's still the same us.
New year, same ism.
Yep.
New year, same us, new format. So we've held you guys here for a long time. We want to thank all of you guys for staying and chilling with us. We have some things coming up that I think y'all are going to enjoy this year. Some of the stuff is already in the works.
Yes.
So stick around. Check out our Instagram at Black Prose Book Club for further information and links to things that you might have needed or didn't know you needed. And if you have any questions, always DM us there. And again, we're looking for somebody that wants to run our story graph. So hit us up.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Stay black.
Have a good night.